Vitalik Buterin wasn't your average kid. Born in 1994 in Russia and raised in Canada, he stood out from a young age. While other children played sports or watched cartoons, Vitalik was obsessed with numbers. At just 4 years old, he could do mental math faster than most adults. By 7, he was already building Excel spreadsheets. For fun. But his brilliance came at a price. In school, he didn't have many friends. Teachers labeled him as slow, not realizing he simply processed the world differently. He spoke softly, moved awkwardly, and had trouble fitting in socially. But when it came to logic, computers, or math, he was a genius in disguise. At 10, Vitalik discovered programming. At 14, he learned about Bitcoin, and that changed everything. Vitalik's dad, a computer scientist, casually mentioned Bitcoin one evening. The idea of a decentralized digital currency instantly hooked Vitalik. He dove headfirst into research, reading every white paper he could find, joining forums, and even writing articles, just to earn a few bitcoins. He wasn't interested in the hype. What fascinated him was the underlying technology, blockchain. He saw potential where others saw speculation. In his words, "I realized that Bitcoin was not just money, it was a movement." Soon, Vitalik was writing for Bitcoin magazine. He was just 17, but already respected in crypto circles. Still, he saw limitations in Bitcoin's structure. What if, he thought, we could build something more flexible, a decentralized world computer? That idea would become Ethereum. At 19, Vitalik wrote a white paper that would shake the crypto world. The idea? Ethereum. A blockchain not just for currency, but for building anything. Apps, games, organizations, all decentralized. No middlemen, no borders. He sent the paper to a few friends. Within weeks, it went viral in the crypto space. Some thought he was crazy. Others thought he was a genius. A small team formed around the idea. People from all over the world, all betting on this quiet teenager's vision. Vitalik dropped out of university and received a $100,000 grant from the Thiel Fellowship to focus on Ethereum full-time. It wasn't about getting rich. It was about building the future, one block at a time. But launching a new blockchain wasn't easy. Skeptics attacked. Early tests failed. And then came the biggest challenge: funding. In 2014, Vitalik and his team launched the Ethereum ICO. One of the first of its kind. People could buy ETH, the network's token, using Bitcoin. It was risky, it was experimental. But the world believed. Within weeks, they raised over $18 million, a massive sum for the time. It proved there was real demand for a smarter, more programmable blockchain. But with money came pressure. Every hacker wanted to break Ethereum. Every government wanted to regulate it. Every investor wanted it to succeed. Vitalik, still only 20, found himself leading a global movement. And as Ethereum launched in 2015, its success became his responsibility. That's when the attacks began, not just on the network, but on his vision, his leadership, even his morality. And by 2016, Ethereum was exploding. Developers were building decentralized finance apps, NFT experiments, and even on-chain games. But then came the DAO, a massive crowdfunding experiment built on Ethereum. It raised over $150 million. It was supposed to be a showcase of Ethereum's power, but someone found a flaw. In June 2016, a hacker exploited a vulnerability in the DAO smart contract and started draining funds. Over $60 million in ETH vanished. The entire Ethereum ecosystem froze in shock. Vitalik had a choice: do nothing and let the hacker keep the money, or roll back the chain and risk destroying Ethereum's core principle of immutability. After intense debate, the community voted to fork the blockchain. Ethereum would split. One version that erased the hack, and another, Ethereum Classic, that kept it. It was the hardest decision of Vitalik's life, but for him, saving the ecosystem mattered more than following ideology. Still, many saw it as betrayal. Despite the controversy, Ethereum survived and then thrived. In the following years, developers flooded in. The DeFi boom began, turning Ethereum into the backbone of a new financial system, open, borderless, programmable. Then came NFTs. Digital art, collectibles, even music and video, all minted on Ethereum. Suddenly, Ethereum wasn't just a tool for crypto nerds. It was shaping culture. Vitalik didn't always love how things evolved. He criticized get-rich-quick NFT schemes and meme tokens that clogged the network. But he believed in the bigger picture. Ethereum was enabling freedom, creativity, and innovation at a scale the world had never seen. As Ethereum's value soared past $400 billion, Vitalik, still in hoodies and sandals, remained its humble figurehead. But bigger challenges were coming: energy use, scalability, and competition. Ethereum was powerful, but also problematic. Gas fees were insane, transactions were slow, and most of all, it used massive amounts of energy through its proof-of-work system, just like Bitcoin. Vitalik had a vision. Ethereum would evolve. Enter the merge, a historic upgrade to Ethereum that would transition it from proof-of-work to proof-of-stake. No more energy-guzzling mining. Instead, ETH holders would validate the network by staking their tokens. It was risky. Billions were at stake. The update had to be executed perfectly across thousands of nodes, smart contracts, dApps, and financial systems built on Ethereum. On September 15th, 2022, it happened. The merge was live, and it worked. Vitalik called it a historic day for Ethereum. The energy usage dropped by over 99%. The world watched in disbelief. This wasn't just a crypto upgrade. It was one of the most complex software transitions in human history. And it proved something. Ethereum wasn't just surviving, it was evolving. By 2025, Vitalik Buterin had become more than a coder. He was a philosopher, a thinker, a global icon in tech, freedom, and finance. While others chased hype, launching meme coins, AI projects, and NFT casinos, Vitalik stayed focused. He wanted Ethereum to be the foundation of freedom tech: censorship-resistant apps, decentralized governance, and financial access for everyone. Ironically, the ecosystem he created had become a gold rush. Billionaires were born off tokens he never touched. Meanwhile, Vitalik quietly donated millions to pandemic relief, AI ethics research, and open-source science. In recent interviews, he warned about centralized power, deepfake-driven politics, and AI overlords. He urged builders to create systems that serve people, not just markets. And though he's still under 35, his legacy is already being written. Some call him the father of Web3. Others say he saved crypto from itself. But one thing is clear: Vitalik Buterin didn't just write code, he rewrote the future.